Hey fellas, your commissioner here, coming at ya for a little week 15. Week 15 of NFL action, the first week of the playoffs. Playoffs? You kidding me? Talking about playoffs? We made it. Another successful regular season. So that was a sight to see. Hey, look, it looks like you've been practicing. Enjoy your victory. Hey, look at that. How about it? I have 3 of them. Oh, I went 3-0 in my ESPN leagues. That's pretty cool. Hasn't happened often this year. Of course, Arkansas had a really good performance this weekend in Tulsa against OU. Looked a little shaky, first half of the first half, but settled in. Did look like Nick Smith maybe tweaked his knee again, but he sounds like he's going to be fine. I'm sure, he would need to be in jail or in a mental hospital or something to not play his homecoming game down here in Little Rock this weekend. So, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. So, I think Mekhi Mitchell looked really good. Hey, if we had Brazil, we probably would have won by 50. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into, unless anybody has anything else, I don't, no? Okay. We'll go ahead and get into a recap of last week's games here. We'll start off with the Cocoa Rice Krispies game of the week between Kickers Lives Matter and Doesn't Contribute, and wasn't particularly close. Duncan ran away with it 132-90. Almost our dog shit team of the week. Missed it by 0.15 points, so at least he wasn't that as well. Craig was looking like he was in a very good position just about a month ago, sitting at 6-4. Staunch defense, not really scoring a lot of points, but not really giving up any either. And the walls of Jericho kind of came tumbling down on his team. Lost 4 games to end the regular season. And really, you take away the 30 points that Kirk Cousins had and the 19 that Donovan Peoples-Jones had, and it was not great. 3 points from Ramondre, 1 point from Kenny Gainwell, 8 points from CD, 9 points from Palmer, 7 from Dulcich. Just a pretty shit performance. I think Craig is where he belongs now. I think he belongs in the horse-ass bracket with the team that he's had. I mean, one of the lowest point scorers on the season, and he's down here. And so now we turn our eye to Duncan. And congratulations, Duncan. Congrats. I got nothing else to say, but congratulations. You worked your tail off for it, and you did the improbable. Not only did you break the longest active losing streak in league history of 13 losses in a row, a feat that I don't think I will be stunned if it ever gets close to that number ever again. I think this is a very historic thing that we were witnessing. And granted, we're going to be doing this for a long time, so it's possible that something like this does occur again. But I just, don't foresee it happening. So not only did he bust the streak, he sealed. God dang.
Okay, you need water?
I haven't talked this enthusiastically in quite some time. I was sick over the weekend. I'm feeling better. Still got a little bit of a cough. So just got to cough it out. We're just going to work through it.
You need water.
No, spoiler alert. Might be the sponsor of the week. Credit to Duncan, 132 with getting 0 points from his tight end. He only got 6 points from Slayton, but Connor had a monster Monday night game. It's been just an absolute key trade for him down the home stretch here. 23 points. Justin Jefferson, 33 points. Jerry Jeudy, 3 tutties, 33 points. Josh Jacobs, 20 points. Mixon, underwhelming, but still 12.5 points. And, Duncan put up 132 with getting 4 points from his quarterback and 0 points from his tight end. That's just it's very remarkable. He easily could have been looking at a 160-point week, had he got some production from those two positions. So, entering the playoff with authority, definitely earned it. It's not like he won 91-90 and backed his way in. He finishes the season at 500, and first team in league history to start 0-4 and make it to the playoffs. It's never been done before. Now, we've never, I don't believe, had 3 0-4 teams to start a year before, so that certainly helped. But that's just this league, man. It's the parity. You guys see it year in, year out. Nobody's really ever out of it. And it makes it an exciting league. It makes it spicy, makes it fun. So, credit to Duncan, locking up the 6th seed with that win. Next year, we'll go with the potential preview of what's going to end up the most likely horse-ass bowl. I hate football, and if you lose to me, you really suck. The second lowest scoring matchup of the week. I was able to pull out a win, 101-92. And, last 3 weeks just kind of been skating by, just barely getting over 100 points. And that's, like I said, that's where I expected to be. If this team ever scores 120, it'll be a miracle, But I also don't think that they're going to shit their pants and score 80 points either. So, if I can ride it out with 100, there's going to be plenty of other people that screw up and score in the 90s. But, again, I've been getting 100 points, but I've also been having some pretty key performances from wide receivers to get there, because my running back room went from arguably the best running back room in the league at the beginning of the year to easily the worst. So, for Savoy, just, he had good games from Zay and Ayuk. Had 2 catches on the final drive before the first half, but 92 points from Savoy. He didn't have his 2 number 1 wide receivers, Olave and Watson. And Deshaun's looking like maybe he's starting to come on a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't come on too strong, if you know what I mean. And then, for myself, I had Cordero on bye. Apparently Claypool's been on the Bears for like a month, and he still doesn't know the playbook. I don't know, and so that's fun. But yeah, really, really carried by the DJ Chark pickup. Playing him, and hey, look, another week with Geno outscoring Justin Herbert on my bench, so that's fun. But yeah, it allowed me to finish 6-8. I think I finished 6-8 last year as well, if I'm not mistaken, and missed the playoffs again. So Savoy's 5-9 and ended the season on a 3-game losing streak. So sucks to suck, right? So. Next here, we got Discount Double Check and Cooter Gain. Game meant nothing to JD. It was the potential Rip needed to win and get some help to secure that second bye. He potentially still could have even ended up with the number 1 seed with the win and a lot of help. However, he does put up a great point total, highest point total of the week, 146-117. Good showing from JD. JD's really been solid the last month and a half of the season. He's just had, I think he's not the highest point total against, maybe he is, but one of the highest points against in the league. And that's really what's got him down at 4-10. But, very easily this could have been a 500 team if he got a little bit lucky with the points against. So, he puts up 117 without JT, without Curtis Samuel. So I really, JD's the 12 seed on paper, but I wouldn't want to be playing him. I don't want to play him. I think I did the traditional reseeding of the horse ass bracket where 7 plays 12, 8 plays 11, 9 plays 10. And I mean, that Nick and JD matchup, those are the two guys I think are least likely to win the horse ass. Getting a little ahead of myself here, but I that's a tough matchup for both of them. I mean, those are two good teams. So, but we'll get into that when we get to it. 146, and Rip had 0 points from his tight end, only 6 points out of the flex. I mean, just continues to be carried by Hurts, and now McCaffrey and Tyreek. Debo is out. He's out probably for the rest of the fantasy season, effectively. So that does hurt him because that third wide receiver, I guess he's probably going to have to roll with Dubs because Sutton's probably not going to play again, at least this week. He'll be fine, but it doesn't matter for Rip anyways on bye. It doesn't matter, but it does hurt his future prospects. So next here we got the Swamp Donkeys and Razorback Revival. Blaine wins this one, locks up the number 1 seed, only team with double-digit wins on the year, ends the season on a hot streak, won 3 games in a row to get to 10-4, and monumental loss for Nick. To fall to 500 and fall out of the playoffs. His first time missing the playoffs in how long? Let's see. He has made the playoffs. The last time he missed the playoffs was 2016. 2016 and so 5 years or 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, 5 years of making the playoffs in a row. He's missed the playoffs now twice since the inception of the league. He's missed the playoffs in 2016 and 2022. So, a staple of this league, one of the best owners in the league, and he misses. And he's right there with Connor. Connor has made the playoffs every year since 2016. It's a 6-year streak for him that's been broken. And, a 3-time champion, back-to-back-to-back. So, it just goes to show, kind of goes back to the parody of you never know what you're going to get in this league. I mean, 2 of the best owners that this league has ever seen are not in the playoffs this year. So, and one is a very legitimate contender for the horse ass. It is what it is. It's not. I don't think anybody's guaranteed a playoff spot any given year, and I think that shows. So, so Blaine, credit to him, 124 to 105. ETN did nothing. Keenan had a good game. Hopkins underwhelming, but still fine. Same with St. Brown. Great pickup by getting Okonkwo. Got 18 points for him, and Eckler's a beast as well. So, bench is pretty thin. But that starting lineup can get going now. It can get going. So, Barkley's going to get a little bit healthier, and we'll see what ETN does down the stretch. But, Nick's going to be fine. 105 is tough for him. Goddard was still out. Should be back next week. He had no Pittman. He was on bye. He had T. Higgins get scratched pre-game, basically. Waddle was locked up by the Chargers. Fields was on bye. So it was just kind of the perfect storm. I mean, 123 is good, but I think if Nick was fully loaded, for him to put up 105 with all those guys out, he still probably, he would have had a shot. So next here we got the Toilet Bowl matchup of the week, and you'll see why I'm doing this second to last rather than last here in a second. The Dirty Birds of War and Shades Dynasty. Little hit to Shades lineup. Or Shade's season, I guess. Little ding, little blemish on the record. Loses 92-90. Connor certainly didn't deserve a win, but he got it. He had no Kamara, no Lamar, no Algier, but still was able to squeak out 92. Obviously, Zonovan Knight's been great for him. That's a huge pickup. I think that's going to play a vital role in deciding horse ass. But boy, buddy, is that wide receiver room dog shit. Because, I wouldn't want to put my eggs in the Matt Collins. DJ Moore's a little banged up, but he does have Jamar Chase, and he's pretty good. So, but we'll see if Danny Dimes can carry the load for him while Lamar's out, because he's probably not going to play again. Oh, hey, Loki. Come here. Did you like being in the video last week? Come on. Come on. Hey, it's Loki. He just loves the camera. He loves the attention. For D-Shade, he didn't play Trevor Lawrence, got 40 points on the bench. But, he didn't have Aaron Jones or Drake London this week. So, but, pretty piss poor performance from him. But, I think better days ahead for Amari. DK's been good. Pollard continues to be a beast. So, I think he's okay. Only thing I could see screwing him in the playoffs is not playing the right quarterback on the right week. So, but, credit to Plunk. He does get to 5-9, saves himself from the 12 seed. Thankfully, really. And D-Shade, his seeding was pretty much locked in as either the 4 or the 5. So, all right. And then that brings us to our final game of the previous week. And I will let one of the owners talk about their team here. Cut.
This video is for all the people who didn't think Dylan could make it into the prestigious playoffs of Bring That Wood Fantasy Football League. I'm here today to tell you, fuck you. Actually, make it a double fuck you. Because not only one, but 2 Dylans got in the playoffs. That's right. A double dose of Dylan. Some would call it double penetration. Yeah, feels pretty nice. Ask your wife. Not mine, though. Yet. But yeah, it feels great to be in the playoffs. I've worked so hard. I now know what it takes to make to the playoffs. A lot of, long nights, not a lot of sleep, skipping meals, crunching the numbers, all that bullshit. Didn't do any of that. But, being in the playoffs feels so good. Now I can sit back and, relax, watch as the horse's ass gets figured out. Hopefully it's not Savoy again, but, hey, the cards fall where they fall. But I would like to give a special shout out to Blaine, the Swamp Donkeys. He sent a lot of encouraging text messages during my losing streak, so I'd like to give out an honorary to the Swamp Donkeys. But anyways, so excited. Can't wait for the playoffs this year and every other year from now on. I'm gonna be in that bitch repeatedly like your mama. Anyways, go Hogs.
All right. I haven't seen your video yet, actually, Wilson. I'm going to see it whenever I'm editing, but gotta love that Wilson charm, right? Expect nothing but the best from Wilson. We finally got our first guest appearance. Oh, she's not even in here. Thought she was going to get offended by that. First guest appearance by a league member of the season. It took 15 weeks, but it finally happened. I totally agree with everything you said about your team, Wilson, and I'm looking forward and rooting for you in the playoffs. So Wilson was able to cash his ticket. 128, huge win over Ford. Huge game for Ford to lose out on the bye and allow Wilson into the playoffs. Of course, Kyler Murray gets hurt on the third play of the game, tears his ACL. He didn't have Kenneth Walker. Terry McLaurin was on bye. Brian Robinson was on bye. He didn't play Chuba. It's 18 points. Would have helped. Still wouldn't have been enough. Maybe would have been enough if Kyler hadn't got hurt. But, he did have a monster game from his 2 tight ends. 40 points from Ingram and 18 points from Njoku. Just not quite enough because the wide receiver room and the running back room, quarterback, of course, all let him down. And for Wilson, it's kind of, the story of the season. It's Patrick Mahomes, it's Miles Sanders, it's Mike Williams when he's healthy. And, he didn't have David Montgomery this week. He was on bye. But it looks like, he'll be back. He'll be back off bye next week. McKinnon's been a beast. He'll probably play him and he'll get 5 points next week in the first round of the playoffs and probably cost him his playoff hopes. But Mecole might be coming back, and if he gets to the championship game, Herbert might be back that final week. Not that you're going to play him, but you never know. So, anyways, let's go ahead here, look at one of the final big waiver runs of the – I actually haven't looked at them at all today for the first round of the playoffs. Hey, Cleo, get out of there. Stinky. Not a sponsor, but this stuff's great. Because I can't eat it. It would be unsafe. Anyways, so very small waiver run. I picked up Alec Pierce for $2. Duncan picked up Cade Otton for $1. And Nick picked up Cole Kmet for $4. So not a lot to see here. Moving on. All right, let's go ahead here and get into a preview of this week's matchups. We will start off. It's going to be a quick video. We will start off with the horse-ass games and then work our way up. We'll do a full breakdown for both of the playoff games, as is tradition. Only one of those will be the game of the week, but we will fully break down both of them. So, hold on a sec. Erica! Well, she wanted to brag about her team in other leagues, but I guess she doesn't care that much about it. So, anyways, we'll start off here with I Hate Football, the Dirty Birds of War. Punk is projected to win 106 to 99.7. Oh, here she is. Talking about playoffs.
Okay, so real quick, I wanted to brag because this was my first, as y'all all know, I've been talking about it this whole season of, what do you call these videos?
State of the Union.
State of the Union videos. I mean, I knew that. I just couldn't think of it. But guess what? In a very competitive league, I got a bye week. It's very competitive. The top half is very competitive.
This is the same league whose trades I sent you that she tried to fleece.
Those trades, first of all, went nowhere. B. Hall is out. I got him for 1 game. M. Brown was hurt. Came back. He hasn't been doing anything because.
But the other trades that didn't go through, that you tried to go through.
Because DeAndre Hopkins is back, and now Kyler Murray is out with the ACL injury. I'm not really getting the most out of M. Brown. So, with that being said.
But despite all that.
Through
the adversity.
I'm going
only half the league paying attention every week.
I'm going against this. He's in the top half. This guy's been doing this for how many years? About 10 years.
And I can only make the playoffs in leagues where people don't pay attention.
He didn't even get a bye week. He didn't even get a bye week in this trash league that he's always talking about.
Look at my points against. I had the most points against in the league.
No, you don't.
Yes.
2 other people do. Hunter and Ryan.
I have more points against me. I have more points against me.
Oh, against.
Against me.
But I have more points for than you do.
Barely.
So my team is better than your team because it outscores you.
Yeah, because you made bullshit trades.
So I'm probably impacting that points against because I beat you twice in this league.
Once.
I beat him twice in this league. Twice. But like I was saying, read it in Wheat Boys. I am number 1. 11-3 in this league. Have a bye week. Here's John down here. Number 3. I'm 1. So I will keep you posted on if I actually win the playoffs and make it to the finals and win. And I'm the champion. My first time ever having my own team. I will rip y'all to shreds if y'all don't put me on the team next year or when there's an opening because I deserve this. This right here is proof that I can compete with the best of the best.
How'd you do in Nick's league?
Now, Nick's league is different because I got a
Because it's actually more competitive.
No. I got a bad draw. Y'all want to know
I got a bad draw. I got a bad draw in every league.
I was in a bad draw from when I got to pick. It should have been ladies first. That should have been the rules. But nope.
What about gender equality? Ever heard of it?
Should have been ladies first, especially since this is my first time.
Are you drunk? You're burping all over the place.
I've been eating a lot of greasy food. But yeah, that's the big news, y'all. Y'all support me. I hope I win the next round. I hope whoever
Who do you want to win in our league? That might.
So who's in y'all playoffs? Let's see y'all playoff bracket. Blaine is number 1. Discount double check. Okay. Ford. You didn't make it? Oh, that's so sad, baby. You didn't make it. I would like Josh Ford to win against his matchup. And I would like him to go against Ian Rip.
Against Duncan? He's playing Duncan.
But he has a baby on the way. I love Duncan, but Josh Ford, he's got a baby on the way. So I'm going to go with that. And then against Dylan and Dylan. I can't choose between those two. Now, if one of them had a baby on the way, I would choose one of them.
Well, one's probably more likely to have one sooner than the other.
So, to make it easy, I'm just going to say I want the baby on the way to win it all.
Who do you want to win the whole thing?
I just said it
you
to
said
win
you
it
want
all.
Ford to win the whole thing?
Yes, to win it
Okay.
all. That's it. I'm done.
All right.
So,
yeah, myself and Plunk, looks like he's going to be without Lamar Jackson again. We have some Saturday games for the first time this year, this week. So that's exciting. I think there's 2 of them. It's pretty much his lineup here. I know that ESPN hates my team. I mean, they're actually pretty spot on. I mean, they project me to score 99, 100 points every week, and that's basically where I'm at. But we'll see. Hopefully Freiermuth is healthy enough to play, but I got some tough matchups this week at the wide receiver room, so I don't know. I mean, I'm glad I'm catching Connor without Lamar, but still, you just never know. You never know what's going to happen, so I think it's going to be an ugly one, a low-scoring game. You can still bet on these games, guys. I mean, nobody's really bet on anything, but you still could, in theory. And I don't know. We'll go with Connor in that one. Next here, Cooter Gain and Razorback Revival, the 7 and 12. Honestly, the 2 best teams in the horse-ass bracket, despite being on opposite ends of the standings in the horse-ass. Cooter Gain and Razorback Revival, 122 to 117. Nick is projected to win. I think that JD does have some pretty good matchups. Lockett is going against San Francisco, so I think he probably will have that touchdown streak busted. I think that no T. Higgins. Hey, Nick, he burned you. You don't want him. Can't say I blame you. I think that Nick still does probably have the best team in the horse-ass bracket, so we'll go with Nick in that one. But I think JD is going to give him a run for his money. And then our final horse-ass matchup, if you lose to me, you really suck and doesn't contribute. Craig is projected to win 110 to 79. Of course, Savoy doesn't have Damian. He has Damian Pierce in there still. Damian Pierce probably going to be out a couple weeks when he needs him the most. There's really no point in playing Damian Pierce the rest of the year anyway. The Texans aren't playing for shit. It's just like Kupp, he's done for the year because the Rams aren't playing for shit. So that's a great trade on my part. Most of my trades this year were pretty bad, actually, in hindsight. Pretty bad. Like all of them. So actually, I feel like if I didn't make any of them, I might actually be in the playoffs. Or at least have a stronger team in the horse ass. But he's got Corey Davis in there too. Obviously I hadn't set his lineup yet this week, but he'll slot in Olave. It's tough to take Zay Jones out the way he's been playing. But he's kind of got 5 startable wide receivers and only 4 slots to put them. The real bigger concern is the running back situation. I mean, he'll throw in Hunt, I guess, and Jamal Williams. So it's going to be tough. Really key if Ramondre's back. Hopefully that injury wasn't too serious. Jacoby maybe will be back. We'll see. Hey, I'll go with Craig in that one. I'll go with Craig. I just don't see where Savoy gets enough points to pull off a win. All right, so, well, Ford doesn't have a quarterback, so that's not going to be the game of the week. So, anyways, we'll start off here with our first playoff matchup, our first quarterfinal game. As a reminder, the playoff winners bracket will be reseeded after this round. Whoever is the lowest remaining seed. So if Duncan pulls off the upset against Ford, which looks extremely likely, he will play Blaine as the 1 seed. Basically Blaine will play either the 5 or the 6 seed, and Rip will play either the 3 or the 4. So whatever the highest remaining seed left is, Rip will get. The lowest remaining seed will go to Blaine. Hey, buddy. So, battle of the quarterback. You got Aaron Rodgers Monday night against TBD. Ford, maybe you're waiting to see if Mike White's going to play and healthy, but if he does play, no, sir. Get off the table. If he does play, then you got to play him. You got to pick him up. You got to start him. Because I think Mike White could get 25 points pretty easily against Detroit's defense. So, brother, what are you doing? No, get down. Bitch, you gotta trim your claws, buddy. All right. Battle of the running backs. We have Joe Mixon, Josh Jacobs. He needs a lot of attention, this guy. He needs a lot. He's just like a child. Versus Kenneth Walker. Mate, looks like he's going to play. He's off the injury report. And Bryant Robinson. Ow, motherfucker. Get down. Scratching me to shit. Come get your son. Ah. It's already got me. Yeah, you see right there? Yeah. See right there?
What do you do to you?
Scratch the shit out of me.
Why?
Because he's being bad.
What's he on the table?
Yeah. Jeez.
I'm going to have to watch the video to see what happened.
Look at him. He looks just so innocent, too.
It looks evil.
Yeah. All right. The battle of running back, Joe Mixon, Josh Jacobs versus Kenneth Walker, Brian Robinson. Tougher matchups, I think, for being Tampa Bay and New England, but it's not like Ford's matchups are walk in the park either. So better talent. We're gonna go with Duncan in that one. Battle of the wide receiver. You got Jerry Jeudy, Justin Jefferson, Darius Slayton. Excuse me, versus Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Terry McLaurin. Not even close. Ford. That's the only. If Ford's going to win this game, it's going to have to be on the back of his wide receivers and Mike White, because I don't see him winning any other way. And then battle at tight end, you got Cade Otton and Njoku. Keenan Njoku, we'll go with him in that one. And battle of flex, you got James Conner versus George Pickens. We'll go Conner in that one. Ultimately, I think I do think that Duncan is going to be able to pull this off. And knock off Ford. Ford's going to regret losing that game to Wilson and missing out on that bye. And ultimately, Duncan, I guess, Duncan is a nice guy. And if he beats Ford, he's essentially, taking future diapers and future food right out of, Ford's baby's mouth. And we all know a child of Ford how much they're probably going to be able to eat and put away. So just keep that in mind, Duncan. Just keep that in mind. I know you will. All right, here, and our game of the week, the primo quarterfinal matchup. of the week. Something that I wish I had a little bit earlier. Something I was told a few years ago was gonna never exist again, and here it is. It's still here. I wonder who told me that little bit of information. Any guesses? First, you get one guess per owner. And the first owner who can guess correctly gets 5 fab. Okay? Text it in the group me. One guess per owner. I need to do that more often because some people can just rattle off names. No, you get one guess. Our Nestle Pure Life game of the week. Nestle Pure Life water, healthy hydration. It can be recycled. Please recycle me. Got the recycling thing all over. The cap is a small part and poses a choking hazard, particularly for children. Okay, Ford, so keep this away from your baby whenever it comes. Purified water, less than 0.5% of calcium chloride, sodium bicarbonate, magnesium sulfate. It's just Dallas water. It's just, everything's better in Texas, right? It's just the public water supply of Dallas, Texas. So, you can either buy it up here in Arkansas at the Walmart, or you can just go down to Dallas and open up the tap, and you got the same Nestle Pure Life right there for you. So, purified water enhanced with minerals for a crisp and refreshing, it doesn't say that, but a crisp and refreshing taste. So, Nestle Pure Life, the official bottled water of the Bring That Wood Fantasy Football League. Cheers. Refreshing. Anyways, that is D&D, the Battle of the Dillons. There can be only one. If their names are spelled differently, we can maybe get the correct spelling, but their names are spelled the same. The Cataclysmic Catches in Shade Dynasty. First time playoff appearances for both of these teams. One's been in the league for 6 years. One's been in the league for 1 year. But it should be a doozy. D-Shade is projected to win 118 to 110, but he's coming off one of the worst performances of his season, while Wilson's coming off one of his best, riding high. And we'll see if he can keep that magic alive, keep that magic going after looking pretty bleak. Things were looking pretty bleak there for like the last month until last week. So, battle of the quarterback, he got Mahomes against Houston. Trevor Lawrence against Dallas. Mahomes. Battle of the running backs, we got Nick Chubb and Miles Sanders versus Aaron Jones and Tony Pollard. Chubb has been a little underwhelming. Under double digits in 3 of his last 4 games. Meanwhile, Miles Sanders going. Chicago's run defense terrible. Pollard and Jones though should have very good games. So it's going to be close. I think it's going to be close. I might just go ahead and push this one on paper. It looks like it should be a blowout, but I'm going to push this one. I think it'll be a very close difference between the two. Battle of the tight ends. You got Mike Evans, Mike Williams, and Jahan Dotson. Versus DK Metcalf, Amari Cooper, and Drake London. Again, I'll be interested to see how well the San Francisco's defense can shut down the Seahawks offense. Looks like Seahawks offense has kind of started a little bit down the stretch. And San Francisco has the best defense in the league. It's an interdivisional game, which are traditionally low scoring, on Thursday night, which are low scoring. So I wouldn't want a lot of action in that game if it was me. All interdivisional games for D-Shade's wide receivers, I think that bodes a little ill for him. I think I'm going to have to give a slight edge to Wilson in the battle of the wide receiver room. I wouldn't expect that from before I started breaking down this game, but I think I'm going to have to give him a slight edge. Battle of the tight end, Travis Kelce. Duh. And then battle of the flex, you got Fournette and Jerick McKinnon. Very interesting that Wilson is not playing David Montgomery. trying to ride the hot hand of McKinnon. Ever since he's been off my team, he's been one of the best running backs in the league, of course, like so many others that have come before him. That being said, I think if he sticks with McKinnon, I would go Fournette, but if he puts Montgomery in there, I would go Montgomery. So, I mean, I really think this is going to be a very close game. Again, some of the production that Kelsey's going to get is going to be canceled out by Mahomes, but Kelsey produces points at a lot quicker rate than Mahomes whenever Mahomes is throwing him the ball. So it's tough. It's really, I think the wide receiver is going to be what determines the winner of this game. And so, what the hell? Why not? Let's go with Wilson, right? Why not Wilson? And I think he gets it done. So, anyway, that's all I got this week, fellas. What was I going to say? Hogs are playing down here in Little Rock, not on TV, because why would it be in this shithole? Not going to go to the game. It's sold out. But anyways, should win. But we lost, I think, last year down here, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. So, anyway, good luck to all the playoff teams. Even more good luck to the horse-ass teams because we need it. You're fighting for your life. This weekend, the horse-ass really means nothing. You could lose, you could win, and you could still all be eligible to win the horse-ass. What you really want is you want to try to put up a decent point total. Because if you do end up with multiple one-win teams in the horse-ass bracket, it goes to whoever scored the fewest amount of points over the span of the 3 games. So as Savoy, first time that ever happened, Savoy found out last year. So, anyways, that's all I got. Good luck this week, fellas. Stay safe out there, and as always, whoop pig.